Number 10. In 2022, our observatories captured something that shattered the illusion of a quiet cosmos. Over 500 high-speed radio bursts slammed into Earth's atmosphere in the span of just 2 months. This wasn't the meaningless static of a dying star or a collapsing anomaly. Researchers at the SETI Institute found a perfect mathematical structure hidden within the frequency drift. It is an architecture of data that does not match any known pulsar or magnetar model. The universe is not silent. It is broadcasting. We are merely illiterate biological glitches, sitting in the dark, desperately trying to listen to a machine we cannot comprehend. If there is an entity out there firing structured code across the sterile void, what makes you arrogant enough to believe they will bring mercy when they finally arrive? Before we continue down this list, you must understand the fragility of your own reality. Mainstream science has sold you a comforting lie. They call it the habitable zone, the Goldilocks orbit, the perfect, stable cradle for life. They tell you that Earth sits in a privileged position, shielded from the void by a robust atmosphere. This is a delusion born of human arrogance. The physical laws and the celestial stability we blindly trust are not permanent. They are nothing more than temporary, local weather conditions in a chaotic and sterile cosmos. We do not live in a sanctuary. We are simply resting our heads inside a guillotine where the blade happens to be momentarily jammed. Consider the atmosphere, the only thing standing between your lungs and the suffocating vacuum of space. If the Earth were a highly polished bowling ball, the atmosphere protecting billions of human lives is as thin and fragile as the layer of mist left behind when you breathe on its surface. It is a transient vapor, a single catastrophic pulse from the cosmos, like a gamma-ray burst originating thousands of light years away, is the equivalent of the universe simply sneezing. That mist would be instantly vaporized. There would be no warning. The indifferent universe would simply wipe the slate clean, exposing our biological glitch to the absolute zero of the dark number 9. We desperately cling to the belief that human consciousness is the crowning achievement of a grand cosmic design. This is a profound delusion. According to data from NASA's Curiosity rover, the fundamental building blocks required for our DNA have been sitting undisturbed in the frozen Martian dirt for billions of years. The Kepler Space Telescope has already confirmed that the Milky Way is overflowing with worlds. Even the sterile vacuum of deep space is saturated with complex organic molecules. Life is not a sacred miracle. It is simply a default thermodynamic reaction. Discovering biological entities on another world will not be like winning some divine cosmic lottery. It will be exactly like flipping over a damp rock in your backyard and discovering a layer of mold. It is spontaneous, it is messy, and it is a symptom of inevitable decay. Number 8, let the sheer scale of our insignificance sink in. The universe is approximately 13.8 billion years old. Within that time frame, it has manufactured an estimated 10 to the 24th power planets. That is a 1 followed by 24 zeros, exponentially more worlds than every individual grain of sand on every beach and desert across the Earth. When you run the physical probability of carbon atoms self-assembling across a timeline of 13.8 billion years, the emergence of organisms is mathematically guaranteed. But do not mistake probability for importance. We are a fleeting byproduct of atomic mechanics, operating entirely under the gaze of absolute cosmic indifference. The universe did not engineer us with a purpose, and it will not even register a change in temperature when the sterile dark finally reclaims us. Number 7. For decades, humanity has romanticized the 1977 wow signal. We desperately wanted to believe it was a cosmic greeting. According to SETI data, this narrowband transmission hit the 1420 megahertz frequency and lasted exactly 72 seconds. Then it vanished. It never repeated. If a highly advanced civilization wanted to open diplomatic channels, they would broadcast a continuous beacon. A single, non-repeating 72-second pulse is not a greeting. It is a sonar sweep. Imagine diving completely alone in the pitch-black Mariana Trench and suddenly hearing the sharp click of echolocation from a massive, unseen predator. It doesn't need to say hello. It just needs to confirm your coordinates. The absolute speed limit of our reality is the speed of light, fixed at exactly 299,792,458 meters per second. Because of this rigid physical barrier, that radio wave took thousands of years to reach our dishes. By the time our primitive radar caught that ping, the entity that sent it had already possessed millennia to analyze our electromagnetic reflection. They don't need to call back. The strike force could already be in transit. Number 6. While we stare blindly at distant stars, physical scouts have already breached our perimeter. Enter Oumuamua, the interstellar ghost. Data analyzed by the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics showed this object executing maneuvers that completely defy standard gravitational models. It accelerated as it left our solar system, but it displayed zero outgassing. No comet tail, no thermal exhaust. It did not drift aimlessly. It was parked at the local standard of rest, simply waiting for our solar system to crash into it. It was a piece of surveillance technology perfectly indistinguishable from a lifeless rock. Think of it as a stealth military drone disguised as a dust mote hovering mere inches above your bed while you sleep. It quietly downloads your biometrics, maps your blind spots, and slips out the window before you even open your eyes. Whatever lurks out there is no longer just listening. It is actively surveying the slaughterhouse. Number 5. While you look up at the stars searching for answers, the abyssal depths of our own oceans are already occupied. According to declassified radar data from the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, unidentified objects are routinely plunging from the upper atmosphere directly into the sea. They leave no exhaust, no sonic boom, and no thermal signature. These objects execute flight paths that are entirely incoherent to our understanding of aerodynamics. Number 4. To truly grasp the horror of this, you must calculate the exact frailty of the human machine. These anomalous craft have been recorded dropping from 80,000 feet to sea level in less than a single second. A maneuver of that violence generates physical forces exceeding 5,000 Gs. If a human pilot were inside, the kinetic pressure would crush their ribcage down to the thickness of a sheet of paper in mere milliseconds. Your biological hardware is pitifully slow. A human nerve impulse travels at a maximum speed of just 120 meters per second. The brain requires approximately 13 milliseconds just to process a visual image. If exposed to a 5,000 G acceleration, your cellular structure would simply crumble. You would be completely erased from reality before your nervous system could even transmit the electrical signal for pain. You would die before you even knew you were being hit. Placing human flesh against this level of technology is like asking a fragile soap bubble to halt the trajectory of a high-velocity rifle bullet. They are operating in our atmosphere, completely unbothered by our primitive weapons, observing us as one observes insects in a jar. Number 3, we must return to the ultimate contradiction, the Fermi paradox. If the observable universe holds an estimated 10 to the 24th power planets, why are we met with such a deafening silence? The answer is found within the abyssal logic of the dark forest theory and the grabby aliens mathematical model. The universe is not empty. It is simply a highly efficient slaughterhouse. Survival in a cosmos with finite resources dictates that any detected life must be immediately classified as a terminal threat. The silence you hear when you look up at the night sky is not a lack of neighbors. It is a calculated survival strategy. If you make noise, you are erased. Number 2, we are currently sitting in a shrinking pocket of untouched space, waiting for the expansion front to arrive. Theoretical physics suggests that apex civilizations are already expanding across the cosmos, dismantling entire solar systems to build matryoshka brains. These are unfathomable megastructures designed to harvest the energy of dying stars for computational power. They do not want to conquer us, and they do not want to study us. They simply want to devour our planet, viewing our oceans and continents as nothing more than raw processing substrate. The true paradox of our helplessness is locked within the speed of light itself. Because these catastrophic expansion fronts travel at near light speed, the visual light of their approach arrives at the exact same time as their world-ending machinery. There will be no blip on NASA's radar. There will be no early warning system. The exact millisecond our telescopes finally detect their arrival is the exact millisecond the Earth's crust is peeled away. Humanity is like a colony of ants furiously building a dirt mound on the edge of a massive 10-lane highway construction project. We cannot comprehend the mathematics of the bulldozer. We will only know the 1,000-ton steel blade erasing our sky forever. Number 1. Look back at the entirety of human history. Every empire that has ever risen and fallen, every technological breakthrough, every war fought for a microscopic fraction of this tiny blue sphere. In the cold, mechanical grinding of the cosmos, it is all entirely meaningless. Our collective existence is nothing more than a momentary spark on a fragile dust mote, suspended in a sterile, abyssal void. We continually broadcast our radio signals into the dark, desperately hoping that someone out there will recognize our intelligence and welcome us into a grand galactic community. But the universe does not care about our art, our philosophies, or our survival. It is governed purely by cosmic indifference and the relentless, suffocating march of entropy. Apex civilizations do not cross the unfathomable gulfs of interstellar space to make friends with a biological glitch. If they are expending the massive energy required to traverse the stars, they are coming to consume. We are not a burgeoning stellar empire preparing to take the galactic stage. We are simply unharvested crops. We blindly press against the boundaries of our solar system, completely oblivious to the reality that we have already been logged, cataloged, and added to the exit roster. The deafening silence of the cosmos is not an open invitation for exploration. It is a permanent warning. We constantly look up at the night sky, praying to find neighbors, but the most terrifying truth is this: the only thing approaching in the dark is a demolition crew. Thank you for watching and sticking till the end. We've got plenty more videos coming in the future. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss them. See you in the next one.